forces out here. I can't tell you how much we've missed you, and we have some fun stuff to do this evening with Master Domingo. That sounds terrible. I don't know. I can't talk.
So, like she said, it's so wonderful to see everybody. It's been so hard to be detached from all of you for so long and still have to do this role. So thank you for bearing the heat tonight to be here for this. And we're really excited to get to elevate this individual.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
At this time, their majesties call forth their most noble ministry of defense to present themselves before the thrones.
Good defenders of Aiden. Does this complete your number?
No, it does not.
How about we go collect? The person you think is missing.
Right.
Steps back one.
Perfect.
All the way from Spain, your majesties. We conquered that some time ago, and it's part of Aiden. Before you now comes Domingo, beloved of Sancho. She is his inspiration. Before you now comes Domingo Diaz de la Vega, honored throughout the 20 realms. His students are his legacy. Before you now comes Domingo Diaz de la Vega, Valencia e Ávila, el conquistador de las montañas, y la piñata y pilgrima.
God bless you.
This pilgrim may wander, but he is never lost. He may have many castles, but Aidenvelt is his home. Before you now is Mingo, son of Aidenvelt. One!
Is there a member of what? Is there a member of the chivalry that will speak for this individual?
I have a letter. I may have a few letters, but I have a letter. Hold on, I'm old. There's a little bit of paperwork involved with this man.
I'm not surprised.
He might be a troublemaker. Might be.
We could get rid of the mic.
Act. Unto their majesties Aitenveld, my brethren in the order of defense, and the assembled populace of Aitenveld, does Mushir Abd al-Mahdi Jamal ibn Hakim send greeting. Eben. I regret that I am not able to deliver these words to all of you in person on this most auspicious of days, but I am extremely pleased that with this letter I can be a small part of the elevation of such an accomplished individual as Domingo Diaz de la Vega y Martin. It would seem a foregone conclusion that a man who has already received the accolade of Knight of the Society should be able to proceed to be elevated into another fighting order without question. But as many people can reckon, it is one thing to have earned acclaim some 14 years ago, and quite another to be credited with the same ability in the present day. Your Majesties, I can testify that this man still had true to those chivalric virtues which mark peers in the society. Years ago, well before the creation of the Order of Defense, I had the good fortune of crossing blades during a local practice with a brother in chivalry who had come to reside in my home barony of the Steppes. It was during that I decided to engage in more serious instruction in the art of rapier combat, receiving quality instruction from this gentleman who was both a white belt and a white scarf proved both informative and inspirational. I will testify to the fact that his demonstration of prowess, courtesy, and generosity were instrumental in my personal growth toward becoming both a white scarf of Onstiora as well as a member of the Order of Defense. I also witnessed that this generosity was not limited to those of high rank. Domingo would open up his home and offer instruction and guidance to any who wished to improve themselves. Additionally, he was instrumental in the growth and promotion of cut and thrust technique in the kingdom of Anstiora while he was living here. And though he now resides in your kingdom, I still receive word of his activities in promoting the art of rapier combat in Adenveld. To all assembled, I, Mushir Abd al-Mahdi Jamal ibn Hakim, do testify as a knight of the society that this man is a peer. Thank you.
Is there a member of the Order of the Laurel that will speak for this gentleman?
Why, yes, there is.
You have a letter, I take it?
I do have a letter. I love this dude, by the way, so as a Laurel, I totally say he's up for it. Also, I'm just going to take a little time and give him his comfortable whoopee because he needs this. And as a Laurel, he will understand. As a Velcro. There's a story behind that. He's been given a small wooden chair. Speaking for the Order of the Laurel, I am Aubrey de Bardricourt, a Master of the Laurel residing in Anstiora and also a White Scarf of that fair kingdom. First, please allow me to congratulate the Kingdom of Adenveld on the selection and elevation of this great gentleman into the Order of Defense. He will be an ornament of the kingdom that will shine ever so brightly. I was fortunate enough to meet Master Domingo as my climb to the Order of the Laurel was reaching its end. It is true that my own Laurel taught me how to be a Laurel and how to be a peer, but Master Domingo taught me how to carry myself as a peer and how to be the master of a great household. His even-handed generosity, his easy practice at his many arts, and his care for those around him provided both the example of what a peer should be and the kind of peer that I wanted to be. Quite frankly, the man oozes charisma like some modern-day Fiore de Liveri. Speaking of Fiore, I owe, at least in part, my current fascination with longsword and Fiore to Master Domingo. I have benefited in a second-hand fashion from Domingo's arts. He has, with his cast-offs, clad me in a manner that is the envy of this kingdom. In fact, I was fortunate enough to be dressed in one of his skirted doublets when it won Best Clothing of the event. I have also benefited from his teachings of his squire, my wife, in the realm of period cooking. Finally, his example has led me to explore both period and post-period alcoholic drinks, much to my wife's joy and mine own as well. These examples are but a small glimpse into the impact of Master Domingo's drive to share his knowledge far and wide, and on many levels as there are. He has the happy ability to teach beginners, guide intermediates, and bring the advanced student to the end of the road. And he gives unsparingly of these skills, not unlike his claims. For these reasons, it is my privilege to acknowledge that Master Domingo is not my peer. He is my better and the example that I emulate. But to meet the form that we maintain, he is my peer.
So, is there a member of the Order of the Pelican that will speak to this gentleman?
And that would be me.
Not a letter.
So, Your Majesties, nobles, people of the court, my name is Juliana von Altenfeld. I'm a Baroness, Laurel and Pelican of the East, and I am here to bring you my words in person. But also because I'm old. So, oh dear. Technical difficulties. So, I have known Domingo Diaz de la Vega y Martin de Valencia y Avila for over 30 years. Exact date is lost to time, or we're not willing to admit it. There's a bit more gray now that wasn't there before, and perhaps he's a bit taller, and maybe he's lost some of his baby fat, but he's pretty much the same guy. Something that hasn't changed in all these years is his love of fighting, and starting with rattan combat, and then rapier, and then cut and thrust. But I'm here to speak as a pelican, and the service he has performed. And he is not one to rest on his laurels.
another trait that has not changed in all these years. As I said, he's been doing this a long time, and he's always been one to help out, and he has always made doing the work fun with his infectious attitude. And I would tell you this tendency to dive into an activity with a complete dedication and zeal, but that's already been discussed. So no matter what was needed to be done, it was never drudgery, even if it was just something that had to get done before moving on to the next thing. He made it something that could be enjoyed while it was happening. And it didn't matter what the situation was. He's always there to help, whether it's front labor, setting up a field, moving tables, kitchen help, full-blown feast crowding, security, getting folks in the car, even just basic taking care of the people of his barony. He's always there, leading by example and pushing folks to do better. And of course, he combined that love of fighting I mentioned with service, and he spends lots of time teaching. Cannot forget his ability to make and serve a good gin and tonic when it's most needed. And for the final thing today, he set up his own pavilion. So really, whatever the work is, it's always done with style, panache, and an eye towards fashion. So here we are today to see Domingo be added to the Noble Order of Defense. I will tell you, he is a worthy candidate, and I can happily say he is my peer.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Is there a royal peer that'll speak for this individual?
There is. I have another letter. The next one. Greetings from Countess Lorelei von Orlamond, Premier of the Order of Defense for Glenavon, or as most of you know me, Osprey from Darkwood. Mingo is already a peer and needs very little introduction. A knight and a laurel, as well as a white scarf, yet he is known by one name, like Fibri or Capoferro. He wears his multitude of awards like a comfortable cloak, useful when needed, but not a defining requirement of his persona. His golden quality is inspiration, and in the nearly 3 decades we've been friends, he has inspired me to have more faith in myself. When I was hesitant to make my own fencing doublet, he drafted, sewed, and decorated one for me, and even as a countess, I have more pride in wearing his hand-me-downs than I probably should. He was never condescending, and his motivation for advancement without ever stepping on others to get there has given me much insight into how I should respond gracefully to adversity, not just as a person, but as a rose. In short, I want to be like Mingo when I grow up. I look forward to seeing him again in person, especially to hear those 3 magic words that cut to my very soul and make me weep with joy. Are you hungry? Thank you.
Is there a member of the populace that will speak to this?
Why, yes, there is, Your Majesties. Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, good population of Atenveld. I am Carrigan Anders' daughter, and I am from the Outlands. Today, I would like to speak to you, not on the various virtues that we all hold dear, but I want to speak with you on other things that make a good person. So I'm going to start out with the first time I met my friend Mingo. I went to a tourney. It was a Pas d'Armes down in southern Carita. And it was a fancy, everybody is just decked out to the nines. And they're like, Herwin, you are going to fight the barrier against that person right there. I'm like, well, he's really fancy, but okay, what's a barrier fight? They're like, you grab the barrier and then you hit them, and then you have to count. I'm like, I can't count when I'm fighting. And so I'm holding onto the barrier. I'm looking at this Spanish, just gorgeous outfit. And I'm going, huh, and he started laughing. He started laughing and giggling, which I don't know about you guys. Have you guys ever had a Mingo laugh and then it tickles you? And then you start snorting and giggling? Okay, so the marshals are saying, lay on. And then Sir Mingo and I are whacking each other and laughing our heads off. And then the entire audience started giggling. It raised the energy of that populace so much. People had joy. and that is what I want to speak of, is having joy in everything he does. Fighting, cooking, inspiring me to make better clothes, giving his students a hard time. He loves that and brings joy with that. Nothing more pleases him. The other story I want to speak about, or the other virtue I want to speak about today, is not sweating the small stuff. And you know, a lot of stuff is just small stuff. A couple of years later, after I decided, hey, you know what? I need to hang out with Mingo more. He's my kind of people. I decided, hey, I want to learn how to work in wood, and he's going to teach me. And so we decided, let's make a Viking rowing bench. So I came up, brought my 65-pound pit bull named Inga with me. And we're like, okay, let's, get our plans. Let's just leave the dog outside. She'll be fine. No, she actually was not fine. So we had the porch open, but with the screen door. My dog, Miss Inga, decides, no, Mama is inside and she's leaving me forever. I'm going to go through that screen door, take out the screen, take out the frame, take out the whole damn door. I'm looking at the wreckage of this door and my dog going, I'm such a good girl. And Mingo just kind of looks and goes, well, I guess we're going to pick up some more things at Home Depot. Didn't yell, didn't yell at my dog. He's like, throw her in the truck, we'll go to Home Depot. And that day I learned how to put together a screen. Frame included. You know what? I'm still not very good at woodwork. But you know what? I can screen a window like there is nothing else. So this is the type of person, he doesn't sweat the small stuff. And even with the destruction of a screen door, he didn't sweat the small stuff. He's like, we can fix this. Anything can be fixed. So those are two, I wouldn't say holy virtues, but you know what? There's something that makes this society better. And I think we bring that to this new order, Your Majesties. And I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Is there a member of the Order of Defense who will speak first?
A letter.
She's got paperwork as well.
Lots of paperwork. One moment. I am now a gray-haired, gray-bearded man. Unto Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of Atenfeld, does Damien Greybeard send humble greetings. Your Majesties, my name is Damien Greybeard, and I am one of the 3 premier members of the Order of Defense in the Kingdom of Locock. This day, you are honoring Domingo Diego de la Vega y Martin by admitting him to the Right Noble Order of Defense. Sir Domingo has honored me by requesting that mine be the collar presented to him on this day. As a premier of the order, my collars have no lineage beyond myself, but this collar has been my field collar, worn by me in war and tournament in Locock and at Penzic, where I've had the pleasure of Domingo's friendship over several years. This collar has served me well, and I pass it to Sir Domingo, knowing that he will bring it honor. Thank you.
Well, you are certainly a traveled individual. I respect that. Being able to leave a footprint anywhere you go in the known world is certainly worthy of comment. So, hearing all of these words of your great deeds, will you accept the gallant and honorable Ministry of Defense from our hand this day?
Yes, Your Majesty. You asked for it.
That's what it is.
You did. Now, I couldn't understand where your head was, but looking at his hand right there. You stand before us this day having indicated your willingness to accept the gallant Ministry of Defense in the Society of Creative Anachronism, and having been adjudged by your peers as fit for this honor and worthy of the noble name of Master of Defense, do you, Domingo, swear by all you hold sacred, true, and holy that you will honor and defend the crown of Adenveld?
I do so swear.
Honor and defend all of those weaker than yourself.
I do so swear.
Reverence and serve your faith.
I do so swear.
Give courtesy to your peers, both knight, master of arms, master and mistresses of the Laurel, Pelican, and Defense.
I do so swear.
To further your knowledge of the arts of peace and war, and to aid others in this pursuit.
I do so swear.
And conduct yourself as befits a master of defense, drawing your sword only for a just cause and being chivalrous to all to defend yourself and the crown of Adenveld.
I do so swear.
Domingo, I hear we cannot bestow upon you the expected regalia of the Master of Defense as you come to us with sword, cape, and garters already.
But my love, Domingo is one of your royal peers already. He is a knight of the society, as well as a laurel, and he is our arts and sciences champion. Domingo, please speak to us of the regalia that you bring with you this day.
This is a sword presented to me upon my elevation as chivalry in the kingdom of Adenveld. It was gifted to me by Count Sir Brian of Glenavon, the husband of the dear Queen and Rose who spoke for me. I have held this in my hand since my knighting. I have fought with it on many battlefields. I have done it justice, I have done it honor, and I have done it to serve the society. It is my prized sword in what I use, and I present to you as my defense and aggression to enemies of our kingdom.
As Domingo is always well attired, he comes before you also wearing garters bestowed upon him on the occasion of his knighting. The garter was a small strap used as a device to attach pieces of armor and was used as a symbol of binding together in common fraternity. It symbolizes his devotion to the crown and kingdom. Likewise, Domingo owns and wears many capes. As it is such a warm Adenveld day, he is not wearing any cape, but he has many. And they always complete his courtly visage. Historically, the cape was used to defend the swordsmen from attacks of their enemies. The cape displays the symbol of the Ministry of Defense, serving to identify the master while protecting the wearer as they stand in stalwart defense of the crown and kingdom.
So, I don't know how many of you know this was supposed to happen in April last year. So when he was designing the outfit he was wearing, he was not planning on this weather. July. So there's one last item befitting a Master of Defense that you have yet to receive. Bring forth the color and tell us of its lineage.
I think it was
We did hear about this. This was from the premier of the Kingdom of Locock. It is his field collar, and he has sent it on to bestow to you.
The livery collar has, since the Middle Ages, been a symbol of fealty. On the badge, 3 crossed blades to show you stand as a warrior, ready to defend the crown, the kingdom, and your order. This white livery collar and medallion symbolize the chivalry, courtesy, and honor of your rank and station.
Be prepared to swear to it.
As always, Your Majesty.
Yeah.
I will reaffirm.
Domingo,
Yes.
if you would repeat after me.
I will repeat after.
This day do I
This day do I
render homage and fealty
render homage and fealty
to my sovereign and liege,
to my sovereign and liege,
the crown of Adenveld,
the crown of Adenveld,
who will from this day onward
who will from this day onward
be my liege lords.
stay my liege lords.
I will remain in all ways
I will remain in all ways
their true servant,
their true servant,
serving faithfully
serving faithfully
and striving ever
and striving ever
to prove myself worthy
to prove myself worthy
of this noble title
of this noble title
of Master of Defense.
of Master of Defense.
This I do swear
This do I swear
by my sword, collar, and honor.
by my sword, collar, and honor.
So say I.
So say I, Domingo de la Vega.
We, Morgan,
And we, Elizabeth,
do for our part swear fealty to this defender of Atenvelt and to their households, and to protect them with all of our power until the crown shall pass from our hands. Therefore, we, Morgan, by right of arms, King of Atenvelt, do proclaim you, Domingo, Master of Defense. Be thou good, noble, and true to this order.
there is the little issue of some gloves, Domingo. So it is my honor to be able to do this for you today. And as a knight, you have already taken the last blow unanswered from His Majesty. This is my day. Domingo, let this be the last unanswered challenge.
Yes.
There are a set of gloves for a Master of Defense. The new master keeps one glove, and Her Majesty then also has the other. That shows a link between them in which he is always at the ready to serve the crown and defend their honor. At this time, shall they read the scroll?
Please do.
Yes.
There's a scroll.
Sit back. It's
It has
40.
footnotes.
it's amazing.
So this is a very special request. He wanted a ductus done on his knighting scroll for his Master of Defense. So it is actually 2 scrolls that have been married. Listen, lords, with all your might, and I will tell you, honor bright, a tale about a fair and gentle knight in battle, tournament, and fight. Sir Domingo Diaz de la Vega y Martin was his name. Ole. What fool on earth should need so many a sobriquet at all? For real, so many. For he was born in a far country, in Spain, all beyond the sea. At Grand Vega, in that place, his father was of high degree, and lord of Triscathir lands became he. There's a fucking H in it. A notable in both his word and deed, weighs humility and pride as one. His term of baron he had done, set off on quest knight errantry. He let destiny herself be his ward, who in shape of fortune fair gave Sancha as his wife. Always remember to fluff your baron. Dude, sweet, she's hot. As to the faith into which he had been born, in lands far flung he kept such loyalties as he had sworn. His quest for adventure, where's the spoons, man? in which to exercise prowess militant and generosity and everything so excellent, for he was near his point of exaltation in force of Mars, and there he held his station by Ares. And as that's a sultry sign, the stranger knight so presented, bareheaded, armed, and richly ornamented, saluted king and queen, and nobles all in order as he dwelt within their halls. Fancy pants, so long as one could convince him to keep them upon his nethers, a shocking sight to ladies when he did let fall. In Kerta, Outland's northern pride, then to steps in Anstiora, home again, just keep moving. He did reside, wherein he did find great challenge upon the field, where steel of rapier glitters fine. Under many masters, learned hand, the intricacies of dagger and stabbing sword with pointed blade be studied and boldly carried at the side. To learn well the service of the sword, and to queen and company through all the circumstances foul, and the scenes of good faith and knightly deeds, wisdom, humility, and noble breed, honor and truth. Great Mars guided him on his way, with which he hath formed alliances abroad. Within brotherhood such lessons he hath learned, and his fortunes gained, forth again to Atenvelt came. home again, jiggity jig. Keen to win a more glorious name, he sought to join in that duelist game, though he but lusty knight, and play at swords with rapier bright. As White Scarf, his long pilgrimage took him to the order's birthplace, where he did learn its true meaning and worth. He was the Queen's man. There's never a new fashion, but it's old. It needs stripes. And so he armed himself as cavalier bold. He just wanted new clothes. And set a challenge upon the field. As a learned man, so learning, he has shared with those that ventured there, and upon those to whom sword-schooled fortune has made glorious. He's got cherubs? Where the hell did he get cherubs? So king and lord bore fair witness to his skill, and made flat conclusion to increase Domingo's station, and further at both queen's request and his collected master's behest, now bequeath new titles bright upon his breast, as in respect of his prior knighthood and degree, now name him master of defense. TLDR, he's a mod. As this sun-bright peerage not from Aaron comes, clean crown, move on down, who twice did honor coat, but his patent made on this day by Morgan and Elizabeth Ethelwolf. Now in joyful witness whereof they set hand and will these 23 years his laurel joining past, should be 24 now. And peer of the realm, and 14, now 15. He's old. Number titled member of our chivalry. His honor now enhanced and joined to the Order of Defense in this 55th year of the society, called 2020 Anno Domini. More meetings for you once the plague is past. Bring wine.
Wow, it's an amazing scroll.
Yeah.
I am highly impressed.
So, populace of Belt and illustrious guests from out of kingdom, I present to you Sir Domingo, the newest Master of Defense.
Three cheers for this newest Master of Defense! Hip hip!
Huzzah!
Hip hip!
Huzzah!
Hip hip!
Huzzah!
So, before I send him off to get all of the hugs, His Highness actually has business with you.
I like how nervous she looks.
Right?
Pretty cool.
We'll make it fun.
Yeah, just
Oh, you don't have to. You can stand. So I don't know Sancha's entire story.
She's amazing.
I don't know her history. I don't
Nobody
know
does.
everything. What I do know is that I was very lucky to be part of that story, and not just one, but two baronies. Growing up, I grew up in the barony of Kerta, and one summer, we got ourselves a Sancha, which was very wonderful. And this is the Sancha that we know, dressed very well in a very nice period outfit that none of us understood. We were a generic tunic guy, 1 through 47, and that's how we lived, and that's what we did. And I remember you moving out there and very subtly showing us what it meant to have a persona, and how to produce and contribute in the SCA. And I believe there was an Australia War where we actually decided that we needed to have an order. And that order was the Order of St. Sancha. To have my Order of St. Sancha tabard still, with my little emo haircut. But from what I remember, the entire purpose of that order was to make sure that you know that you're special and that we love you and you're wonderful. And you helped a lot of people understand what it meant to play the SCA and not just swing sticks. Thank you. That's fine. I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you
very
so much for reminding me. And I still have the owl on the staff.
We'll have to bring it out.
So, we actually want business with you too. So much trouble. You, poor thing, have lived in the shadow of that guy back there with the name that's way too long to remember.
I don't think he does. I think it changes.
But
I'm pretty sure I've heard 3
you have
versions
touched
just
so
tonight.
many different kingdoms, and I've heard the stories. I just got to hear a new one. But with the travel and moving all the time, you've been overlooked. And, well, today we right that wrong. Well, we'll give you the opportunity to right that wrong. So, yes, you can.
We would like to have all members of the Order of the Laurel, please.
There was no one there a moment ago.
Sunshine, you will not be answering us. You'll be answering their highnesses. We ask their permission to have the opportunity to make this opportunity. Yeah.
That matters to us as well.
Okay. So now we can let all the hugging. Can we have 3 cheers?
3 cheers for this candidate to the laurel. Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah!
When do we do it?
No, I'm not sorry.
I know, seriously. I mean, I should be ready.
Guess I'm gonna have to come out again.
Shall we pick her up?
Yeah, drag her.
Please do.
Drag her.
Okay, Laurel, that way.
What a cool
Okay, yeah, let's here a little bit.
So His Highness and I just want to thank everybody for taking time this evening to come out. These days in the park, granted we had a carriage today, are meant to be informal times so we can see another play and visit with our friends, bring out your arts if you're comfortable, fight if you're able, just to have time so we can reacquaint ourselves. You know, we thought it was funny when it was Crown 101 and we thought it was like a back to basics, back to school freshman class. Well, we're kind of like that again. We have the opportunity to make this whatever we want. So we hope that you guys are enjoying these days and we look forward to seeing everyone at the future dates.
It's okay. You already
You taught, I mean, you had seen fun.
I guess I have to echo Her Highness. We've been seeing a lot of newer faces, and that's absolutely wonderful. So please continue to come out, continue to support your local groups, and make sure if you see a new face and you're not sure if that person has a home, that you let them know that we are their home. Thank you.
It's not good. Not a practice.
Yes, thank you for bearing with us because we are dreadfully out of practice. Virtual court's a lot easier. There might be a teleprompter. Super easy. But we cherish all of you and are so happy to have you all here. It means a lot. And to be here for this monumentous occasion.
So, I think that's it. Yeah, right, Elsa. Yeah. Yes.
This hereby closes the royal court of their 8 majesties, Morgan and Elizabeth, King and Queen of this glorious land of Edenbelt. One! One!
Oh, so out of practice. So out of practice.
Thanks, guys.